What's going on, guys? This is Ryan with RK Outpost, and for over a month, Dave Chappelle has been at the center of this controversy surrounding The Closer on Netflix, and a greater conversation about cancel culture, specifically in regards to comedy. And we've had several people weigh in, and the vast majority of comedians, 99% of comedians who have spoken about this, regardless of their political affiliation, have said, yeah, Dave Chappelle should be free to say whatever he wants. It's jokes. At the end of the day, these are words. This is comedy. This is stand-up comedy. Stop being absolutely insane about this entire situation. Well, one person who's known for their comedy, or at least has been for quite some time, is Dan Aykroyd. And Dan Aykroyd has shockingly taken a much different position that doesn't really make much sense when you look at his history and everything that he's done in his career. Dan Aykroyd supports hurtful comedy getting the cancel culture axe. As the SNL icon readies for the highly anticipated Ghostbusters Afterlife to arrive, he says there's too much material in comedy to rely on jokes that cause offense. Very interesting, and I'm sure we can pull up some situations in Dan Aykroyd's career where he may have had some similar comedic routines, but let's see what the man said first of all. Talking to The Hollywood Reporter, Dan Aykroyd is back in action reprising one of his most iconic characters for Ghostbusters Afterlife, which Sony is set to release November 19th. And while he's thrilled to be involved with the new baton-passing franchise chapter, the 69-year-old icon also has plenty of thoughts about the state of comedy, the new Saturday Night Live cast, his friend, the late John Candy, and his most notorious bomb, 1991's Nothing But Trouble, among other topics. And here's the question. What is your impression of comedy today and cancel culture? There's enough range in humor where you don't have to go scatological, and you don't have to go pulling any divisive cards to get a laugh. There's enough material out there that you don't need to go and do something like that might cause someone hurt, that someone might be offended by. That's what Dan Aykroyd is saying. Now, if this was just what he likes to do and his rules that he sets for himself because he doesn't want to tell any jokes like that, but he sees where everybody else is coming from, I can kind of see that aspect of it. I could agree with him to be like, all right, you're going to do you, everybody else is going to do them. But he takes it several steps further than that. There is so much in the world to comment on that is outside the realm of offensiveness. As a writer, you can go to other areas and have successful creative endeavors. Scatological humor is fun. It's easy laughs. But there is more intelligent writing that can happen if you stay away from the offensive material that should be rightly canceled for its hurtfulness. So he supports cancel culture. He supports canceling people over their jokes. He supports censoring people. That is what Dan Aykroyd is coming out and saying. This 69-year-old dude who has been a comedian, that's the only reason anyone knows who he is because of his comedy, because of Saturday Night Live, because of all the movies that he did after that. He's saying there's no room in comedy for hurtful thinking and we need to cancel it if we see it. What a bitch you are, Dan Aykroyd. I knew you were Canadian. I've always known you were Canadian. I knew you were a big leftist, but man, I didn't know that. Speaking of the fact that Dan Aykroyd's Canadian, I wonder, how his Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, feels about Dan Aykroyd's past and what Dan Aykroyd has done in movies before, including blackface. Now, Dan Aykroyd, I have no problem with you doing blackface. I have no problem with this movie. I think Trading Places is hilarious. You and Eddie Murphy. However, it's strange that you're so quick to judge what everyone else is doing, that, humor that causes divisiveness, that's not okay and should be rightfully canceled. Man, I think what you're setting up is you don't want to be canceled yourself. I think that what Dan Aykroyd is doing is trying to atone for all his past so-called sins against woke ideology because of humor. So Dan Aykroyd is coming out there and saying there's no place for anything like that. Couldn't this possibly cause some racial divisions? Dan Aykroyd? I don't know. And your co-star Eddie Murphy, also one of the most hilarious skits I can remember on SNL history, one of the most iconic, White Like Me, where Eddie Murphy, you guys remember this, dressed up, Eddie Murphy did whiteface, dressed up as a white man, and went around, and it was like, oh, all the white people are, whenever the black people are gone, they're handing out free money, they're partying, they're doing all these things. It was a different America, white America versus black America. And guess what? It's fucking hilarious. It absolutely is. And no one had a problem with anything like that. And I did want to give a shout out to Christian Toto here over Hollywood in Toto, where I got that clip from, because I'd almost completely forgot about that Eddie Murphy was in Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd, and he also did things like this. So the idea, the entire era that Dan Aykroyd is from is full of things like this. And that's actually back when Saturday Night Live was funny. Now, it's one thing if Dan Aykroyd wants to come out there and state, hey, I think that I don't want to do those. I'm past that point in my life where I don't want to do anything like that. But to say, support the cancellation of that type of comedy, that is so weak. And it shows why Dan Aykroyd's basically irrelevant right now and why Dave Chappelle is more popular than he has ever been. Because Dan Aykroyd is a woke lunatic who can't get out of his own way when it comes to that. And now that he sees this wave of cancel culture, it seems like he's trying to get out in front of it to say, hey, look, guys, I was talking about this a long time ago. I may have done stuff in the past, but look at what I'm saying now. I think we should cancel Dave Chappelle too. And that is just sad and a big fall from grace because there's a lot of people who like Dan Aykroyd. There's probably a lot of people that have great memories of him from Ghostbusters, from SNL, from whatever it is. And to see someone come out and say that I think this hurtful stuff should be canceled, that is really, really pathetic and a big blow to your reputation, to be quite honest. I don't know how I don't think it's going to affect Ghostbusters Afterlife really in any way, shape, or form. That's coming out. A lot of people really excited for Ghostbusters Afterlife. I'm kind of so-so on it. I'm not the biggest Ghostbusters fan. I really loved the first one when it came out, but I wasn't some massive diehard. And, since then, my interest has definitely waned, especially after 2016. Hopefully, Paul Rudd can hit the right note here, and Ghostbusters Afterlife can really get back into the swing of things for that franchise. But Dan Aykroyd not doing a great job promoting it while he's out there talking about how he thinks offensive comedy should be canceled. But I can tell you one thing. Dave Chappelle is loving what's going on because if this is what being canceled is, I'm sure Dave Chappelle wants some more of it. Continuing to perform to sold-out crowds all across the United States, setting records everywhere he goes, and Netflix is showing no signs at all of pulling his special down because they realize it's an insignificant number of people who have no power whatsoever. Evidently, Dan Aykroyd supports those pitiful groups of people that have no power. So there you go. You got one person in your corner, washed up Dan Aykroyd, doesn't think you should push the line too far in comedy. Let me know what you think about this entire situation in the comments below. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone. And a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.